Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Lucamus Prime here, so it's time for another Batman movie review, and today guys, it's time to review the one Batman movie I've been long awaiting to review, and that is what is none other than my favourite Batman movie of all time, which is 2008's The Dark Knight. So yeah, now, I really adore this movie guys, where do I start? This is easily my favourite Batman movie of all time, and my favourite movie of the year 2008, and also my favourite movie by Christopher Nolan, and wow, this movie is just a masterpiece. I really love this movie. Yeah, this movie is just absolutely incredible. So yeah, and now it's time to review it. So, where do I begin? This movie is just phenomenal. So this movie, guys, I really love. I consider it to be the best of the Batman live-action movies, without a single doubt, and also one of my favourite comic book movies of all time in general. I really love the movie. So what's good about it, guys, is, let's begin by talking about the cast first. So obviously, like the first movie, Batman Begins, we do have Christian Bale reprising his role as Batman, and once again, I thought he did go with the direction he was given by Christopher Nolan, and as I said before in my review of Batman Begins, guys, in this trilogy, I do like him more overall as Bruce than Batman, because in my opinion, with regards to his performance as Batman, his voice is quite gravelly and very hard to understand, because he uses a very gravelly, raspy voice as Batman. And in some cases, I find it quite hard to understand what he's saying, but nonetheless, I still think he does a very good job of what he's giving him a role. Although I do think there are some actors who are better than him, like Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton and Robert Pattinson, in terms of the live-action movies, but I think he's still really good in the role. As well as that, guys, once again, there's also great supporting characters who return from the first movie, Batman Begins. For example, Sir Michael Caine returned as Alfred, Bruce's Lord Butler, and Sir Michael Caine did an amazing job of returning as Alfred, did a really great job as him, a very trusty butler and a confidant to Bruce Wayne. And also returning was Gary Oldman as James Gordon. In this movie, guys, he starts out as being a lieutenant in the Gotham City Police Department, but then he, of course, becomes a commissioner, because in this movie, the Commissioner Loeb is killed off because he gets poisoned by some poisoned whiskey, so yeah. And Colin McFarlane, speaking of Loeb, was still really great in the role, as usual, very good in the role. And also returning as well is Morgan Freeman as Lucius Fox, who is the tech expert at Wayne Enterprises, and yeah, Lucius is a great supporting character, guys, and one of my favourite roles of Morgan Freeman, absolutely. And then a character also does return from Batman Begins, guys, but she is recasted, and that is Rachel Dawes, because in this movie, Katie Holmes did not return to play her. She was instead played by Maggie Gyllenhaal, and in my opinion, Maggie Gyllenhaal was far better in this movie than as Rachel than as Katie Holmes, in my opinion. Because in my opinion, Katie Holmes was really bland and miserable in the role and nearly killed the movie Batman Begins for me, but in my opinion, Maggie Gyllenhaal gave a way better performance, because she wasn't sounding miserable all the time, and she put lots more emotions and, and tones in the character. She was way better, and I think I might consider it to be my favourite role of Maggie, actually. And also as well, now, on to, shall we say now, the villains of this movie. Oh boy, I'm excited about this. So the first one I'd like to talk about, guys, is without a doubt the main villain of the movie, and that is none other than the Joker himself, played by the legendary Heath Ledger, may he rest in peace. And wow, Heath Ledger was absolutely phenomenal in the role as the Joker. In my opinion, he is the best Joker of all time, and in my opinion, no one can play the role better than him. No one. Wow, just absolutely sensational what he did. Every single scene of his had my eyes glued to my TV screen when I rewatched it, and every time I watch a movie, I'm always focused on my TV screen whenever he appears on screen as a Joker. Wow. He portrayed him as, so insane, unpredictable, and, scary and thrilling. Oh, boy, was he phenomenal in the role. Goodness me, was he incredible. Boy, did he nail it. So many intense scenes as well. Oh, wow. And it's a very big shame that, that Heath died in January 2008 from an accidental overdose. So, rest in peace, Heath Ledger. But he definitely deserved the awards he won, especially the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. He very well deserved that, absolutely. Yeah, and this, of course, made The Dark Knight the first comic book movie to receive a major Academy Award. So, yeah. We have to give our thanks to Mr. Ledger for giving us the greatest Joker of all time, in my opinion. Like, boy, was he incredible in the role. And in my opinion, no Joker will ever top him that I've seen in live action. You know, I'm sorry, none of them will ever top him, as far as I'm concerned. I, to this day, consider him to be the best Joker. And he's got many iconic quotes, like, for example, you know, like, why so serious? And also, as well. And also, like, I believe whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger. And also, as well, it's simple. We killed the Batman. And, yeah. And also, as well, as many other as well. And there's even, of course, the magic trick one with a pencil as well. Another iconic scene in a movie. Boy, was it great. And also as well, the scene where Batman's interrogating the Joker as well is also definitely another highlight. No doubt about it. And yeah, such a great performance. Like, probably the major highlight of this movie. And yeah, and Heath definitely deserved the Oscar for his performance. Absolutely. He really did deserve it. And then on to the other villain in the movie, guys. Another main villain, that is, which is, of course, Two-Face, played by Aaron Eckhart. And in my opinion, guys, Aaron Eckhart did the character justice in this movie because as some of you may or may not know, I, of course, hated how Two-Face was ruined in Batman Forever. And, yeah, I feel like they really ruined him in that movie very much. But thankfully, this movie did him justice because, boy, was Aaron Eckhart brilliant in the role. Wow, he was so great as Two-Face. And I love how this movie also gave development to the character of Harvey Dent as well. And it showed, of course, how he becomes Two-Face. And in my opinion, he gave an amazing performance as him. Oh, wow. Like, wow, was he just absolutely brilliant in the role as Two-Face. And yeah, he's my favourite live-action Two-Face of all time, guys. Absolutely brilliant in the role. Like, he nailed it. Absolutely. And when it comes to, like, the CGI for a movie, it was definitely done so well because, and like an example of this is probably Two-Face's, you know, burnt face, because when every time I've seen a movie, guys, when I was younger, I thought it was makeup, but apparently it was all CGI, which is pretty cool. Absolutely brilliant. And also as well, when it comes as well to other villains, I also as well like how the opening of the movie also featured Scarecrow, with Cillian Murphy reprising his role from Batman Begins. And I like how this movie, you know, sort of gave him, like, you know, the defeat he deserved, because obviously at the end of Batman Begins, you know, his fate wasn't exactly confirmed, really, because what happened was, you know, Batman, you know, gave him a taste of his own medicine, put it that way. And we didn't really see much of him after that, but I like how this movie, you know, showed him being the criminal that he is, but being intercepted and defeated by Batman. And it was definitely a great start, you know, to a movie with that fight scene. It was definitely really good. And definitely really unique how he actually got some Batman imposters there as well. Yeah, and then, of course, Batman came to stop all of them, and the real Batman, that is. Yeah. And also, as well, now, other good qualities I will say as well, besides the cast, guys, is, you know, I really do love the story of this movie. Like, I love how this movie once again features a dark tone like Batman Begins did, and it brought it back to the franchise, you know, because I think this trilogy of Batman saved the franchise after the god-awful abomination being Batman in 1997. So, yeah, it definitely saved it, and the dark tone was just done so perfectly in this movie. And the scenery and the visuals are also absolutely beautiful for 2008 standards, guys. Like, because when we watched a movie last night, you know, it blew me away how great the visuals have aged in this movie. Like, it looks like you could compare it to a movie released, you know, in this decade. They did it so well. Like, the cinematography was just so top-notch. And also, once again, Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard did an absolutely excellent score. I mean, there are many great tracks. For example, I do love the main theme, of course, which is definitely a main highlight in terms of music. And the action scenes are so fun to watch from start to finish, guys. I really love them. And there's many iconic scenes in the movie, like, you know, such as the opening bank heist and also the pencil trick with the Joker just mentioned earlier. And there's also a really cool truck chase as well. And also Batman interrogating the Joker, which I just said. And there's even a pretty cool scene in which Joker goes to a hospital as well, yeah. Definitely really cool. And there's also one thing that makes the Joker in this movie stand out to other comic book villains, is that he actually succeeds in his plan, which is that he manages to drive Gotham into complete panic and paranoia by killing many politicians and federals as well as turning their one only morally good leader being Harvey Dent into a split personality murderer being Two-Face. So yeah, and this of course leads on to the ending, so which I'll be talking to in a moment. And yeah, so another good thing I will say as well is that for a movie which is 152 minutes, which is, you know, like 2.5 hours, in my opinion, the pacing was excellent, and it definitely, you know, it doesn't drag on in any form of fashion. In my opinion, it never gets boring at all, this movie. Not in my opinion at all, no way. And it definitely has just great pacing, really, and yeah, it's just phenomenal, this movie. And I love how the movie also upgraded Batman's Batsuit as well, and to give a close resemblance to a logo symbol and the Batarang itself. And of course, this is even explained because this movie of course shows Bruce asking Lucius for a more flexible suit. So yeah, like, Christopher Nolan absolutely delivered this movie, guys. He really did. Like, and while Heath Ledger was the standout to this movie, in my opinion, the best part of the movie, everyone else still did great in their roles, I've got to say. And yeah. And I definitely love, you know, Two-Face's story about how he's a great intimidating villain, and he's driven to it by revenge. So I did like that, how he was driven by revenge for the death of Rachel. And yeah, which is definitely a very heartbreaking moment in my opinion, guys, where Rachel was captured and put in a room with explosives, and she gets killed. So after the Joker tricks Batman and the Commissioner Gordon by switching her and Harvey Dent's places. So yeah, definitely very heartbreaking moments. And of course, that scene also was very powerful because it does affect Batman for the rest of the trilogy because he couldn't save her. So it majorly affects him for the rest of the trilogy because he couldn't save her. Now, also guys, let's also talk about the ending of the movie. So I've already said that in this movie, Joker succeeds in his plan because despite being incarcerated and defeated by Batman at the end of the movie, which was definitely another pretty cool scene. And I thought it was also pretty cool how when Batman tackled Joker and he off the scaffolding and he was falling, he was just laughing his way to be until he got captured. He was laughing, wasn't screaming in fear. He was just laughing. That's just pure Joker right there. And yeah, now sure, when it comes to Joker, you know, he may not be, you know, comic accurate due to, you know, not having bleach and having face paint, but in terms of performance, Heath Ledger always will be the best Joker ever. That's what I'll say about the Joker. And so when it comes to the Joker turning Harvey Dent into a split personality murderer, who is, you know, Gotham's only one morally good leader, this leads to Batman's decision to take the blame for everything because he knows that if the city finds out that their only decent politician was corrupted, the city will lose faith. And that's why the ending just works so well. And I definitely as well love Gary Oldman's, you know, final line of the movie where he explains to Commissioner Gordon's son, you know, why Batman's running away. You know, it's because we have to chase him, because he's a hero Gotham deserves, but not what it needs right now. So we will hunt him because he can take it, because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, a dark knight. So yeah. Oh wow, that final line is just so chilling. Goodness me. And yeah, it's just, this movie is just an absolute masterpiece, guys. My favourite Batman movie of all time. No Batman movie, in my opinion, will ever top this movie at all. Not in my opinion at all. Yeah, I really love the movie. So yeah, this is just absolutely perfect from start to finish, guys. And yeah, so and soon the next movie I'll be reviewing, of course, will be the sequel to this movie, and which is of course, you know, where the Dark Knight Rises. And yeah, I'll be looking forward to reviewing that because it definitely does give a nice ending to his trilogy. And yeah, so this movie is just absolutely phenomenal, guys. And in my opinion, Christopher Nolan's best work. In my opinion, he can't make a better movie than this. And even though many of his movies are phenomenal, I think this is his best movie. I'm going to say that. I think this is his best movie. Because, yeah. Oh, wow. He just really nailed it with this movie. He did so well with it. And yeah. So, like I said, guys, no Batman movie, in my opinion, will ever top this movie. Yeah, I really love The Dark Knight. So, yeah. So guys, if you wonder what I would rate The Dark Knight out of 10, well guys, I'm going to rate this movie a full-blown 10 out of 10. So yeah, I absolutely adore this movie, and you know, it's hard to say what I think could be improved with this movie, because there's not really much I could say that needs improvement. I mean, I've already talked about, you know, how Batman's voice is sometimes hard to understand, which is why I mostly prefer Christian Bale as Bruce over Batman. And also as well, you know, how Joker's appearance isn't comic accurate due to having face paint instead of bleach. And I guess there's probably, like, shall I say, like, a lack of blood. Like, especially in the scene where Joker does a pencil trick, because when Batman shoves a man into a pencil, we don't see any blood. And also, we don't really see much blood when Batman's punching the Joker in the interrogation scene either. And yeah. And so that's probably about it, really. And I guess as well, probably the scene where Harvey doesn't recognise Joker dressed as a nurse until Joker takes off the mask, even though his makeup is still visible with a mask on. So yeah. But nevertheless, well, guys, I can let those bad qualities I could possibly have in the movie slide, because I full on adore this movie. It's always such a great fun thing to watch, you know, whenever I re-watch it. So yeah, whatever you like about my marathon, I'll do a marathon of Batman Returns, of the Dark Knight trilogy, and, you know, the Batman from this year, and then I stop, guys, really. I don't watch the two films that came before, you know, the Dark Knight trilogy started, because in my opinion, they pretty much killed the Batman franchise until this trilogy came along. So yeah. Anyway, guys, so this is me reviewing The Dark Knight from 2008. You know, my favourite Batman movie of all time, and my favourite work of Christopher Nolan. So yeah. So no drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to leave comments what you guys think of The Dark Knight. If you've seen it, tell me your thoughts. I want in the comments below. I'd love to see what your thoughts are on The Dark Knight. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe for movies coming in the future. If you'd like to be a member, you can press on your piece of ads, or you can get all the description, and I'll see you all later.